Welcome back to the Casual Chaos Podcast. Not enough energy, Jeff. Welcome back to the Casual Chaos Podcast. I'm your host, JayAsh, joined with, as always, with my co-hosts, Jeff and Bubba. What is up, fellas?
What's going on? Glad to be back. I feel like we'll record on Tuesday, and we had to wait an extra 2 days to get this one out. So,
yeah, it feels like it's been a long time.
Feels like a long time. Long enough for Bubba to be broadcasting from an undisclosed location.
Yeah.
Not as Lanai.
We don't see the pool in this one. Huh?
No pool. Yeah, no pool in this one. We're changing it up.
Yeah, for those that watch from the north or a distance and long for the Florida lifestyle, Bubba's showing what it looks like inside.
Yes.
So, all right. So welcome back, everybody. This is the Casual Chaos Podcast. We are representing the sports wagering community. You're tuning in because you're into this. You like sports wagering. You like listening to us talk. The fan support has been fantastic. So we do this once a week. We're typically talking about current sporting events, your wagers. This is about the fan base and the audience. We want to hear from you, what you're doing. All of your plays, parlays, player props, you do it. Send it in. Send us your tickets. Find us on all the socials at Casual Chaos Live, Instagram, X, Facebook, you name it.
YouTube.
We're on it. YouTube. If you're watching or listening to the pod or want to catch up on past episodes, you could do that on YouTube as well as Spotify, Apple, or wherever you pod. So we've got a decent week here from a sporting standpoint. We've got a major in golf. We've got a couple championship runs here, NBA Finals, Stanley Cup. So we'll cover all of that tonight. We're going to do a quick recap. As Bubba said, we did the last pod on Tuesday, so it seems like forever ago. But in between Tuesday and today, we had a little horse race called the Belmont. And, I shit the bed. I don't know about anybody else, but, by coming in second. So Sovereignty proved that the rest was the right move. It robbed us of a Triple Crown opportunity, but, solidified that horse is something to be reckoned with. You'll see what happens at the Travers and ultimately the Breeders' Cup. But I'll let you guys run with this. What did you guys think of the race?
It was a good race. I didn't throw any money on it, but I did mention in the last pod that I did think Sovereignty would win. And, not that I was going out on a limb there, obviously, but yeah, he's the better. I mean, it looks like he's the better horse, right? I mean, if they race 10 times, he's going to win probably 7 or 8 of them. So
yeah.
I mean, I you called it, Jay. I mean, it didn't happen. I think journalism stayed at 8-5. He didn't even move to 2-1. Really, nobody moved. I don't think anybody moved from the morning line. Maybe 1 or 2 horses, but
Sovereignty went up. Sovereignty went up to 4-1.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, it makes me feel even worse because I didn't bet on him. So, I threw money on Rodriguez and Baeza, and not much. I was at a wedding, pregame in my friend's wedding, so we were watching, and it wasn't enough to. I didn't even notice Sovereignty go up to 4-1, but because I was staring dead at journalism, I thought he was going to win the race. But what a race! Incredible comeback by journalism. He just now he is the best horse out of all of them. You know what I mean? Incredible run. And just like you said, the rest, I don't know, man. I would have loved to have seen him, go for the Triple Crown.
Would have been nice to see the Triple Crown.
I think he could have gotten it,
Yeah, it's definitely possible, but that's the thing, right? Journalism was the only horse that did all 3. He finished second, and it's not like he got buried or sometimes you'll see those horses come in 5th, 6th, 7th place, right? Because
no, he was there. He was there.
He was there. But I would have liked to see the mile and a half. It's a different race. Maybe we have different weather, not sure. But could Baeza have run those 2 down? What's the strategy? Does journalism kick early? Does Sovereignty have it? Because it looked like Sovereignty was like drafting almost the whole race, and he was waiting for journalism to make the move, and the jockey was smart by letting him make the move and knew he had right after. He had horse to give, and then you had Rodriguez and drawing a blank on with Crudo. Some heavy speed horses got out in front like they were supposed to. They just didn't have the gas. I think Crudo's a good horse to watch. Coming this summer and into the Breeders' Cup though. This is only his 3rd race. It's a good looking horse. But hats off to Sovereignty. Otherwise, I think we're good.
Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So,
and the owner's going to make a lot of money. And whenever they put him out to stud, he's going to make a lot of money off that horse.
Will they sell him like a Triple Crown winner? I mean, is that like something that happens in the horse world? Will he be sold like a Triple Crown winner or no?
No, he'll be sold like he's got good stock, but I mean, it won't be. He's going to command plenty. And listen, his career is not even close to being over. I don't think they'll shut him down. He'll probably run Travers in the Breeders' Cup, and we'll see if he's a horse that's racing 4, 5, 6. I mean, if they see the money potential there, might as well run him if he's got it.
That's always a little dangerous, though, right? I mean, because you worry about him taking a step back. So sometimes you got to strike when the iron's hot on those horses. But
yeah, for sure.
I feel like I'm having headset difficulty here, but
it's all the hair.
That's it. So, all right. Well, this is normally where we would jump into talking tickets, but sorry to disappoint everybody on the pod. Producer Tyler is off this week. He's on paternity leave. So a big shout out to producer Tyler, his wife Katie, and the new baby Emma, who was born last Thursday. Baby Emma and Katie are doing great. Tyler's not sleeping much, or he is and just not telling us. So just wanted to give him a shout out. We've got producer Juju because we are a professional organization here and we have a backup plan. But we're not going to do talking tickets tonight. We're going to give Tyler the rest, and we'll be back with that segment next week. But please send us your tickets. Anything you got going on today through next Thursday, we'll talk about on the pod and get it up there. So again, send your tickets on the socials. Instagram's probably the easiest way. Just DM us there, and we look forward to getting Tyler back hopefully next week and getting talking tickets going again. But producer Juju's on the beat tonight, so we'll still do bragging rights towards the end.
We did get did you see that we got I Watch Ball did send us in one a few days ago. Did you see that?
I did see that. I did. It was an interesting one too. It was a 4-teamer, right?
Yeah, and it won. So
yeah.
So anyway, I Watch Ball. Sorry, we're not going to really get to you this week, but keep sending them in.
Keep sending them in. More importantly, open invitation. I think we need to start a little I Want Ball on the podcast. Needs to be a guest. Needs to come in here, give some insight, give us his plays.
At least for a segment,
Yeah,
absolutely.
He could be talking tickets. We support that. So we'll have to DM him this week, see if he's interested in doing it. So, all right, well, let's just transition here. Let's jump in. Pacers up 2-1, and what's turning out to be a little bit of a surprising series. I know, our take was tough team playing at a high level right now. Probably could steal 1, maybe 2, and now they've got a 2-1 lead going into tomorrow night. So, what are you guys thinking about last night's game? And more importantly, what do you think about the series?
Another good game. Fun game to watch. Game 2, obviously not so much, but game 1 was great. And this one was also very enjoyable. The Pacers, as they've done basically throughout these playoffs, they really buckled down in those last few minutes of the game and made plays. And Thunder struggled. I mean, SGA specifically had a rough night, So this is I said it to you, Ash, that game 2 was basically must win for the Thunder. And I think game 4 is, it's not a true must win game, obviously, because they don't go home, but it's pretty close to must win.
Oh, yeah.
I would say it's must win. You can't go down 3-1, have to win another game in that building and then 2 at home.
Yeah. It sounds cliche. It sounds cliche. And I sound like the old coach with a beer belly, but I watched the game last night, and it looks like the Pacers won it more. I don't know why. I see that when I'm watching the game. It looks like they're hustling more. It looks like they have an urgency to move the ball. They have an urgency to get to the basket. And they've been. I mean, the clutch shooting has been on point for them. And then obviously their defense has been good. So it's not a shock. And if they've got a hand in the face or they're being tough, it's SGA his luck's gonna run out at some point. Not saying his luck, but I mean it's tough for him to make these shots, especially in the moment of the NBA Finals.
Man.
I don't think it's cliche, or I mean the saying is cliche, but it's a good observation because they play with such a pace anyway, right? That kind of frenetic pace. The offense needs to move. Their defense has stepped up. They're definitely not what you would call a classically good defense, but they do get stops. They do get turnovers. And I think what's happening is OKC is a physical team and a hell of a defensive team. And when the frenetic pace, it's kind of like, I don't want to give a physics lesson here, but it's almost like you've got that inertia hitting what should be an immovable object, and the immovable object's actually moving now, where normally they don't. And it looks like that they're playing harder. But Jeff, you know this. You've got guys like Mathurin, you got guys like Nemhart. They don't care, right? They're bad men, right? They think they're the best guys on the court. They play hard. They play defense. So it's not surprising that they're stepping up. And then Halliburton is still playing all world. He looks great, and it's been a great series.
Yeah, I mean, we thought it was going to be a fun series, so we did think the style of play would be fun to watch. I think probably all of us just thought it would be 2-1 the other way at this point.
No doubt. And I was shocked today to see that I wasn't surprised to see that OKC's favored tomorrow night. It makes sense, but for the series, they're still minus 235. That's a big number being down 2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially, I mean, like pretty convincing wins too. I mean, obviously the one buzzer beater, but this last one was like, it was right there for the Thunder to win, and they let it slip away. I will be tuned in. I will be locked into Game 4. I'm excited to watch it, and you never hear me say that about NBA basketball, but maybe it's because it's the finals. But these two teams are fun to watch. They are.
And it's the only game of the series. Sorry, Jay. It's the only game of the series. There's one day in between, so who knows if that'll have any effect? But it'll be interesting to see. So,
I'm just happy we've got a Friday night game too. That's gonna work out nice. So, most people out there, I had a ticket on Thunder in 5. It seems like it was a pretty popular bet, but I also had Thunder in 6, so that's still alive. It actually pays out more. So, we'll see what tomorrow looks like. OKC obviously hasn't dropped back-to-back playoff games this whole run, so not sure that would change unless they just come out completely flat. But I don't know how you do that. They seem to respond. If Indiana could take one or two of these, though, that's going to be a hell of a push for OKC to get it done at home.
Absolutely. I mean, it would be good for the NBA too, because everybody, it was sort of a foregone conclusion that OKC was going to win, right? Mm-hmm. And then we were already talking about, they're going to win, 3 of the next 5 or whatever. So Indiana winning would be good for the NBA, even though, the vast majority of NBA fans couldn't care less about Indiana. But it would be good just to have like an outsider team win. We haven't seen that in a long time,
It's true. And not to take anything away from them, but like if Indiana truly wins this series, the Celtics are going to be beating themselves in the head. And I think same with the Knicks too.
I mean, I do think Indiana's better than the Knicks, though.
I do too.
I've been beating that horse, but I do think they're better than the Knicks.
Yeah, but definitely the Celtics. I mean, they got to be like, wow, we could have, went on a run.
Speaking of the Knicks, I mean, they look like a bunch of clowns right now, huh? With all this coaching
huge clown show, huge. Yeah.
Why?
Dude, they fired Tibbs. Right. We talked about that last week. But it wasn't the most controversial thing, but you're firing a guy that dragged your team.
Yes, I don't agree with that.
To the conference finals. But you did it. And now, Jeff, what are we at? 6, 7 teams? They didn't have a coach in waiting. It's not like they were interviewing candidates or free agents, if you will. We've been following this. They're asking active coaches. They're asking, they asked Minnesota, they asked Houston, right? They're asking to speak to established head coaches in the NBA. Okay. What organizations letting their playoff bound coach go? They would have already been fired.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're the Knicks, you fired Tibbs with a plan of doing what? Insert name here from another team. It's bonkers.
I saw that they had denied some interviews, like they weren't taking interviews from guys that aren't coaching in the league. Mm-hmm. Or maybe that had just been fired. I didn't know that they were actively trying to get permission to talk to current coaches. I did not know that. That is embarrassing.
As far as we know, they've been turned down 6 times already. So
that's wild.
So your philosophy is we're not going to accept interviews with open coaches, right? Coaches who are not currently employed. So you're not playing hard to get. You're playing hard to want at that point in time.
And to your point, how about your coach that you just fired that took you to the playoffs?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, and
that's
brought
not a
the,
good look.
I mean, obviously the players, get credit too, but he brought that program back to respectability. I mean, they
Of
were a joke
course.
for years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I always say it in any sport, if you're going to fire, because there's, fans always want to fire the coach or the manager or whatever. They always want to get rid of it. There's always somebody else better out there, right? But if you fire somebody who's actually good, and Tibbs is a good coach, he's not perfect, but he's a good coach. If you fire somebody who's good, you better make sure you get somebody who's better, and they have no plan. They have no plan whatsoever. So,
yeah.
Listen, you and I have talked about this for years, right? How many good coaches are actually in the NBA?
Yeah.
That's the thing. And we see the retreads come and go all the time. It's just like, it's always the same list of candidates. It's like that guy's still coaching, right? And he's got a career 500 record. Some of these younger coaches, like what's going on in OKC, et cetera, they good starts to their career and their teams are winning. And that's great. But, the old guards leaving, and it's a league now it's been completely run by the players for years. And if they want you gone, you're gone. It's a thankless job.
Do you think that's what happened, or do you think the GM for them was like, I mean, who called the shot to fire this guy?
And no, we haven't heard. I mean, a lot of people think it's Dolan, but there hasn't been any leaks on that, So
there
was a brush up with Bridges, but Bridges doesn't have the cachet to get that done. And the reality is, there was genuine support from Brunson and others when the news dropped. It was just like, that's our coach, So
that sucks, man. That's not good. That's not a good look.
Does. But typically it's, insert star player here,
right?
Hey, I'm not vibing with this guy, him or me,
Give the news a story, but they other than them being somewhat stupid throughout this whole process, that's been the only story. There hasn't been anybody that's come out right and said,
no,
that's it. So, all right. So do we still like OKC, or do you guys think the Pacers walk away with this one?
I mean, for the first time, and again, I'm not going on a limb because they're down 2-1, but for the first time, I'm thinking. Well, I always thought Indiana had a chance, but I would have been shocked if OKC lost the series. And right now it looks like they could lose the series. I'm staying on the bandwagon though. I'm not jumping off. So
okay,
I'm with Jeff. I wanted to say, can I talk? Can we talk on Saturday morning? But I think the Thunder will win this game, and then I think the series is evened up, and I think I'm still holding on to them winning the series.
I do think it's going 7. And again, when we talked last Tuesday, I thought there was no chance that was going to happen, but I think the series is going 7 games. So
yeah, Bubba, we can try to edit the pod. We'll put it up tomorrow, but we'll edit it Saturday in case the take switches. So we have the technology.
I love it.
Let's shift gears. We've got the third major going in golf today, the U.S. Open in Oakmont.
Rough day for Lowry, huh?
Rough day for a lot of people, but Lowry +9. I've got him in a top 20. I'm glad I didn't go. I was like, I don't like this, so I only got him in a top 20.
Was that rough day a pun?
It was?
No, it wasn't, but it fits. Yeah, it fits.
It was. So you got JJ Spawn, the first round leader at -4. Before we really dive in, but who did you guys have? I don't know if you guys put anything on it, but who did you think was going to win this one?
Go ahead, Bubba. This is your avenue.
Yeah, I mean, who did I think was going to win the U.S. Open? The best golfer in the world. I thought Scottie Scheffler was going to win the U.S. Open, but I didn't bet it. Number one, and I wouldn't know who to bet. Like, I'll give you a funny story. Today, when we saw that Spawn was at the top of the leaderboard, I'm sitting there with my dad, and my dad's like, "Who?" And my uncle, they're like, "Who's JJ Spawn?" The only way that I could describe him was, do you remember the players where they had to play the next day in the overtime? Yeah, because they ran out of time or the weather was coming in, and they were like, "Oh, that's him." Yeah. So it's just shocking that. I mean, I guess it proves that whoever's on that day can play, especially at this course.
He's got a solid.
No, he's good. He is good. Yeah. He is good, but ridiculously hard course today. I mean, even Scheffler struggled a little bit. So
+3, tied for 45th.
Yeah. So he's got to play. He's got to play well tomorrow. Although I think the cut will be.
The cut's going to be no. The cut's going to be +3 or 4.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, well, Spawn's -4. You got one guy at -3, handful at -2. But you go to T11 is even. After that, it's positive numbers.
Yeah.
Right. So you got 85% of the field in positive numbers. So it'll be interesting how the morning night shift tomorrow works out, because I think the course obviously will be a little bit softer in the morning. I don't think there's any rain coming, but it looked like the wind picked up this afternoon. A lot of guys just really shit the bed.
I'll tell you who I think.
I didn't watch a ton of it. Go ahead.
I'll tell you who I think's going to win.
Who?
Brooks Koepka.
Yeah. We'll
After
see if he
today,
shows up tomorrow.
I think if he shows up tomorrow, I mean, he looked good today, and they mentioned it too. When the course is harder and the moment's bigger, he usually plays better.
Yeah, I faded him this week. Normally, he is a automatic, play for me to win top 10. He has just looked completely disinterested. The last two majors he's played, he really has.
Yeah.
He is a U.S. Open. He's a past U.S. Open champ, past PGA champ. And after the PGA's performance, I'm just like, I'm going to stay away. But nothing would shock me. I might look to live bet him depending on how tomorrow looks.
Yeah.
I had, I played 4 tickets for the win. I used 2 free plays, $200 free plays, which was nice. But I took Scotty, I took Xander, I took Bryson, and I took Rahm. So I basically took the chalk. But the nice thing about the chalk was with Scotty at 285 and then Bryson at plus 700, Rahm went off at 12 and Xander went off at plus 22, right? Or 22 to 1.
Yeah.
So with the free plays, it's it's $200 on across 4 guys. I was like, it makes all the sense in the world. Down the board, you can live bet it if you want to, but the value in top 10 for a lot of these guys, like getting Ben Griffin at plus 550, Ryan Fox plus 800. Cam Young plus 800. I was like, just play the top 10s.
Yeah, they could figure out, come out tomorrow and go 3 under and be right in it.
Yeah. So
what was I going to say there? You mentioned something. You said you had Rahm's 200, no?
No, he fell back. I think he dropped back to even. Actually.
Oh wow,
he was 200.
Last I looked, he was 200. Yeah.
No, sorry, -1. He's -1.
Okay, yeah.
He's
right there. He's right there for you.
Yeah, I had him for first round too. I would have loved to see him sneak in. This morning, so I sent producer Tyler a text. I had Gary Woodland 5 would have paid 500 for the first round lead, and I don't know, through 10. He was sitting there sitting at number 2 -3. I was like, shit, this might actually happen. So
oh man,
I like him top 10, top 20. I mean, he took a little bit of a beating on the back 9, but I think he's got potential to be the story on Sunday. Coming off the brain surgery, the comeback. It'd be nice to see him just involved on Sunday, because I think they'll eat up that storyline, which would be really cool on Father's Day.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see. I mean, that course, I'm looking forward. I'm going to have a little time tomorrow to watch, and then obviously looking forward to the weekend. But that course just looks like guys like Shane Lowry, Justin Rose, +8, +9. Those are numbers pedestrians shoot, not guys of that ilk. It's kind of crazy.
I think I would shoot 170 there if I actually I don't think I would. Yeah, honestly, I don't think I'd find, if I got a ball into that long grass, I don't think I would get it out. I'd pick up and say, "Give me a snowman" every time.
Yeah, you're doing. Hey, we're not professionals here. I'm just going to drop it in the fairway.
Yeah. No. Did you see the albatross from? I think it was Patrick Reed.
No.
Did you guys didn't see that?
No.
What a shot! And the look on his face too, because he couldn't see the pin. Yeah. It was incredible. You got to go back and watch the highlights, or maybe we can maybe during this, if we clip this, we can put it on. It's an absolutely insane shot.
So he got a hole in one.
No, he got it. It was a par 5, and his second shot went in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he got picked up 3 strokes right there. I don't know what he finished, but
how far away was that second shot?
It was 225 plus, but he just couldn't see the pin. I would think it was uphill, and he just hit it. And then he heard the roar, and then somebody came down the hill, I guess, and was doing this, thumbs up. And he was like, "Did it go in? Did it go in?" And he was super excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I gotta check that.
Pretty
out.
Cool.
All right, you sticking with Scotty, or you shifting?
No, I didn't like the way he looked today. I like Rahm and I like Koepka. Those are the 2 that I like.
Yeah. I might look that live bet Koepka. I think Rahm's live. I think Scotty will find a way, because
he'll be there. But
the thing is, he's got to, just think if he went -1 in the next 3 days, there's a lot of room for a lot of guys ahead of him to just melt.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
And does -6 win this tournament? or is JJ Spawn going to come out and put a -4 every day?
It's going to be between 6 and 8, I think.
So he's 7 strokes behind Spawn. We're not necessarily thinking he's gonna stay up there. He's 5 shots behind Koepka, right? So that's right now that'd be the one that you'd be saying, okay, can he make up 5 shots on Koepka? And
yeah,
obviously the answer is yes, but we'll see what happens. So.
Yeah,
yep,
no doubt.
You said you didn't really watch much today, Jay. You're gonna watch tomorrow.
I didn't. I'm gonna watch more tomorrow. Yeah,
these guys are just so you know, when you watch tomorrow, I'm sure you'll see it. But they're even putting. We're talking about the rough, just putting.
Mm-hmm.
They're barely touching the ball, and it's going like way past the hole if they miss it, or it goes in and it loops around. But it's like putting on just cement. I don't even know how they're doing it, to be honest.
For anybody listening that's interested in stuff like this, if you just pull up Bryson DeChambeau on YouTube, just do a search, Bryson and Oakmont. He literally walked the course. Like he did a hole by hole, like I think 2-3 weeks ago, and like really stressed how long it is, how tough the rough is, but more importantly, how precise you need to be on the greens and the putting. But more importantly, it's one of those greens and courses that if your ball goes where you think it's going to go, where you want it to go on the green, expect it to roll 30 to 40 feet away from that mark.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
no matter what green,
no matter what green, right? Yeah. So it's a really interesting video. I mean, I didn't sit through the whole thing, but you kind of skip around. It's pretty insightful.
I saw on the broadcast today, the course when it was built for a long time. I don't know how long, but it was a 60 something 100 yards, and it was a par 80. That was par at the course. Like they just said it on the broadcast. It was like that's how long and tough that course is. When you've got guys down the fairways with flags trying to spot every single tee shot that goes into the long grass, and they sometimes are looking around for like 30 seconds, they can't find it, and they just saw it land right in front of them. So very tough, very, very impressive to see these guys even like you said, just go even for the day.
It's apparently a man's game, man's course. So,
and I guess we should mention that Rory collapsed at the end of the first round too. So
I have a ticket for Rory to miss the cut.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's something I can get behind.
He's officially a heel.
Oh man, I love it.
All right, well, let's get to the segment everybody's been waiting for. It's the most popular, most talked about segment we do on this podcast. It is called NHL Hockey Stanley Cup. 30 seconds. Go.
30 seconds. Edmonton's gonna win tonight. Florida's gonna win the series 4-2.
Okay.
30 seconds is about all I've watched so far of these games. So I don't have much of an opinion. I will turn it on tonight, though. I mean, I'm joking. I do watch it. I'm not a hockey guy. I don't know the intricacies, so I won't pretend to be an expert here. So
if you're watching the pod and you see my eyes move, it's because the hockey game's on. I'm not riveted, but there's 10.5 minutes left to go into first. It's 0-0.
Nobody scored, huh?
Nobody scored
yet. That's rare in this series. They've been
over under was 6 in this game, and nobody scored. So looking decent.
Well, didn't they put up 5 goals in the first period, the last game, or was that the game before that?
I think that was
the game before that.
Yeah.
Before that, yeah.
Well, someone may or may not have to talk about that in bragging rights. We'll see what happens. So, all right, let's shift before we go to bragging rights. This probably should be a segment every week too. Aaron Judge, human or machine?
It's fun to watch, man. As a Yankees fan, I mean, I'm sure baseball fans are sick of hearing about him because I know how it is when there's a great player on another team. I get sick of hearing about him too. But I mean, he's just a beast. He basically leads baseball in everything. Whether you're talking about old fashioned stats, you're talking about new fashioned stats. I mean, he's putting up. I mean, last year he put up, what people consider the best right-handed batter season of all time, and he's crushing what he did last year. So yeah, I mean, he right now, if you extrapolate out what he's done to this point over the full season, he would have the best season in baseball history. Better than Juiced Bonds, better than Babe Ruth. Allegedly. It would be the best season in baseball history. So of course,
allegedly.
there's a long way to go, right? There's more than a half a season. He's got to stay healthy. I mean, you would think that there would be a little bit of a slump. He hasn't had one yet. I mean, I know I mentioned last week or the week before that he didn't look right and he was, not hitting balls he normally hits. But he hasn't had a 10-game stretch this year with an OPS under 1,000.
It's crazy.
It's insane,
Yeah.
So
he's also got to be. Sorry to interrupt, but he's also got to be. This is his 10th year in the league, and he's going to be a 7-time All-Star come All-Star break. I mean, I feel like for a while there, he was striking out a lot. There's one season, I don't know when it was, but he struck out a lot, and he might still be striking out a lot, but I don't think he is this season. And you're waiting for it to just fall off, right? You're waiting for him to just get cold and not be the same hitter that he was, for a stretch of the season or the previous season. But the dude is a baseball player, man. It's incredible to watch him play. Yeah. It really is.
The non-All-Star appearances are due to injury too. It's not like they were down years. And
it's 19 and 20. Yeah.
Right. And the crazy thing about the strikeout numbers, Bubba, is even when he was he still strikes out, but when you look at the volume of strikeouts, it's offset by the volume of walks, where most power hitters, and obviously he hits tremendous for contact too, but most power hitters, if they're going to have those 150 or plus strikeout seasons, they only walk 10, 15, 20 times, right?
Right.
Where judges, it's probably 1.2 to 1.
He had 130. He had 133 walks last year.
Yeah, and the strikeouts never bothered me with him just because he wasn't like one of these 220 hitters that you see.
Right.
You know what I mean? He wasn't Joey Gallo who hit 40 homers but batted 210. Right? I mean, you could stomach the strikeouts more when you're batting 280, 290, or like he's been over 300 the past 4 years. Not 2 years ago because he got hurt, but before that, before he busted up his foot, he was well over 300. And Bubba, just to answer your question, he's striking out less than ever. Like he's not even close to the top 10, top 20.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is he's chasing less than ever. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he doesn't swing the pitches out of the zone. Last year, he got really good at that. I mean, he's improved basically every year of his career, but last year he was one of the best at that. And this year, I think he's in the top 5 in chase rate, meaning he just does not expand the zone,
Right.
So,
yeah. It's actually too, I said 10 seasons. This is his 10th year. But he in 2016 he only got, I'm looking at it now, 84 at bats. So that's not really
that year don't count. I mean he was officially a rookie in 17. So
yeah. Well, very impressive. 2-time MVP. I mean,
it's gonna be 3 this year.
It's gonna be 3. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it should be 4 because he got robbed in 17. But
yeah. Well, I mean, listen, the other night 475-foot homer almost went through Kauffman Stadium. I'd like to see him homer tonight and get a trifecta out of that series. So,
well, we'll talk about that in a few minutes here. So,
is it? I thought you told me he wasn't playing.
Exactly right. So,
not playing.
First off game of the year, first day off of the year. So
that sounds like a natural segue, Jeff, into bragging rights, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly right.
All right, so let's jump into bragging rights. Let's go into last week's ticket. I don't believe anybody won, but let's pull up Jeff's ticket and let's go over it, Jeff. Where did you get bit?
Okay, so I went 2 for 2 here. Pirates, I took the under there because Skeens was pitching and he did his usual marvelous performance. I had the Yankees winning by at least 2 runs. They only won by 1. Phillies, Blue Jays, I took the over there. That also hit. And then Dodgers, Red Sox, the under came in that game, which was a little surprising. So I was 2-2 last week, which basically means I was 0-4. So,
or just just took the L.
Yeah,
took the L. Speaking of taking an L, let's pull up my ticket so I can not want to talk about this. Yankees over 4.5 runs, loser. Panthers under 6 goals, loser. Thunder to win, loser. And then Nick Taylor, top 10, loser. So
that's a true 0-4.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
I'm glad you can just delete those tickets and not see them anymore. And I'm going to delete it from my memory. And we're going to move on to Bubba's ticket from last week.
All right, let's see. I had, let's see, is it up there? Just double check. All right, I had the Cubs money line, and it looks like, let me just back. I'm looking back. I'm going to take a little time here. They won 8-3, so that's good. Cincinnati Reds, they won 4-2. Trying to see how I lost here. It must have been one game. I had
the Yankees. You lost the Yankees.
I lost the Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Mets lost 6-5. So I lost 2. Same as Jeff. Same as going 0-4.
0-4. We've got a update here in the hockey game. Florida just scored, and they cut right to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce because nothing says hockey like those two.
Yeah.
1-0 Florida early. Let's go. All right, let's get on to this week. Let's get a winner here. Let's see if we can do it. Let's start with Jeff's ticket.
Well, I put this in early today, so I'm already basically eliminated, at least from the contest, because I got the Tigers winning by 1.5. The last time I looked, they were up 4-0, so I'm not sure where they are right now. I'll take a look here while I'm talking. But I had the Yankees winning by 2 runs. No Judge tonight, so right now it's 0-0. I'll just be happy if they could get a W there. But hopefully, maybe he'll pitch hit in the 9th inning and hit a 2-run homer. I have Bobby Witt Jr. With at least 2 hits. So far, he's 0-2, so that's not looking good. And I had Aaron Judge with at least 2 hits, and again, he's not playing. So what happens here is if the other 3 come in, I would still get paid, but it would be far less than this would have paid $624 and a $25 bet. It would be far less than that. But I'm not going to have a 4-leg parlay, so I'm basically eliminated right off the bat here. So
we'll make a judge's ruling on that.
Yeah. I mean, it would still pay. It'd still pay like 3 something.
Probably something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeff, was that Bobby Witt at plus 1,300? Bobby Witt for 2 hits?
No, it was they lumped the 3 Yankees bets because that's all in the same game.
Okay,
so they lumped all that together. Yeah.
Gotcha. I was gonna say for him to get 2 hits. I mean, just throw 50 or 100 on it.
Yeah.
The guy gets hits, so it's not like
he's amazing. Yeah, Jeff. Detroit's up 4-1, top of 9.
Okay.
So
yeah, Scooble pitched today, so I figured that was a good one to jump on. So
yeah. All right, let's see what I've got rolling tonight and tomorrow. As you guys know, I still believe betting on the same day of the podcast is a death sentence, but wasn't a lot of options out there. Had to do it. So I went over 6.5 goals in the game. Now that I know that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are there, that seems like a lock. I've got Connor McDavid with a goal or over a half a goal tonight. So just put one in that. Connor, you're fast. Get it done. Tomorrow, I bought the Thunder down to 4. It's at 6.5 right now, but I brought that down to 4. And I've got Hartenstein over 7.5 rebounds. So get 8 rebounds, and that's in. Look, plus 11.19. So 25 is paying 304. Let's see if I can get out of tonight for a change.
Yeah. There we go.
Right. Bubba, what do you got going on?
Let's see. I'll wait for it to pull up here. All right. I took the Thunder money line tomorrow, which is just, I'm not going to say it, but kind of a cop out. I should have taken a -4 like you did, bought the points. I think it would have been better odds. But then I took the over in the Milwaukee Brewers Cardinals game, which I had that game on, then I turned it off. I don't know what it's at now. Let me see if I could double check real quick. Cardinals game. 1-0 top 5.
Yep.
Yeah. So I need some runs there. I got Astros with their guy on the mound, so I got them at -1.5 to win that game by more than one run. And then I got the Oilers, which are down 1-0 in the first period. But I have faith. I think they'll win this one on the road and take it back.
Yeah, let's go. Somebody needs to win.
Yeah, we were like 1 for our last 8 weeks or something like that. So
yeah.
You guys think we can get Taylor Swift on the pod?
I'm thinking no, but it's worth asking, right?
One day, maybe one day.
How many followers do you think we need to get to before we get her?
More than
I think if we had even the equivalent to her followers, she probably would. I don't think she would come on.
No.
I don't know. She's clearly a sports fan.
Very true. Yeah, very true. Wow, that guy just got. Did you see that guy just get popped in the face?
Yeah. Maybe we'll go after Travis. We'll see what happens.
That's the way to go.
He's got a mustache and a following. He's got a podcast too.
Yeah,
We can get on his pod.
We'll
get on his
do
pod.
we'll do a vice versa. We'll do a little
Right,
guest spots. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
We'll help him. He can help us. It's a good thing. It's a good relationship.
Nothing to do with
So.
sports gambling, but I just got a notification on my phone that Israel struck Iran while we were on this pod. So I don't know. What are the odds on that?
And the world just keeps getting better, huh?
It's crazy.
I'll tell you what, as far as segues go, that's the best segue to get out of this podcast right now before we get aggregated and blasted. No pun intended. So
love it.
All right. So that's actually going to do it for us tonight. We appreciate everybody that tunes in. Follow us on the socials. Can we put those socials up again a little bit slower? At Casual Chaos Live. Check us out. Send in your tickets. Check out the pod. Check out our past episodes. Big shout out once again to producer Tyler, Katie, and baby Emma, and her big brother, baby Lalo.
Producer Juju for stepping in.
Just happy for their family. Looking forward to seeing everybody soon. Another big shout out to producer Juju coming off the bench and slinging graphics up there for us. So much love and appreciation there. Guys, if you don't have anything else, I think we out.
All right.
We're
See you
out.
next week, fellas.
All right, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody. Take care. Hi, everyone. This is JayAsh, one of the hosts of the Casual Chaos podcast you are about to listen to discusses gambling and wagering on sporting events. Please be advised the gambling and sports wagering content during this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute financial or gambling advice. Sports wagering involves significant risk. If you choose to gamble, please do so responsibly and only gamble with funds that you can comfortably afford to lose. All opinions, wagering tickets discussed, or implied wagers on the Casual Chaos podcast are not guarantees to result in financial gain. You must be 21 years or older or of legal gambling age in your jurisdiction to participate in sports wagering. Please verify the gambling and sports wagering laws and regulations within your jurisdiction prior to placing bets. Listeners are solely responsible for their own wagering decisions and outcomes. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call or text the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. We encourage everyone to engage with sports betting responsibly. The host and the Casual Cast podcast assume no liability for any losses incurred as a result of listening to this content.